Recently, Mob dropped our newest and final trailer for Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. The trailer gave us new looks at the prototype, this new dog character, and some gameplay for Chapter 5. But what and who I'm going to be focusing on mainly today is Lily Lovebraids. I'm pretty sure that this new trailer showed more of Lily Lovebraids than it did the prototype, who's supposedly the main villain of the chapter. So it seems like she's going to be a pretty important character in Chapter 5. So who is she? Is she good or bad? And what's going to happen to her in Chapter 5? But before we start, make sure to subscribe if you're excited for Chapter 5, and let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this new trailer. I saw a bunch of people saying it was bad and it looked like Garten of Banban, so I want to know what you guys thought. But anyways, Lily Lovebraids. We were first introduced to her in the Welcome Home trailer for Chapter 5 that released in December. The trailer took place right after Chapter 4's ending, where Poppy abandoned Us and Kissy and escaped into a vent. She encounters a bunch of Chapter 5 villains, including the prototype, where the vent then collapses, and Poppy lands in a new character's room. And this mystery character says, the community guessed that this mystery character was Lily Lovebraids, which was a leaked name we got for Chapter 5 a few months before, and this new character had a long purple braid, making it pretty obvious to us who she was. We got a couple more subtle hints at Lily Lovebraids as more Chapter 5 teasers released. Very small things like this blue flower being a lily flower, this photo of Lily that was completely covered in darkness, and this shirt showing us pretty much the same thing we already saw in the Welcome Home trailer. We got absolutely no information about Lily in the Chapter 5 ARG, with most of it just being about these two Playtime co-employees. At this point, the only thing we knew about Lily is that she exists, she's purple, and has these two yellow stars on her legs. And she also had a long purple braid that she could control. But the ARG ended last Wednesday, giving us this website called End of the Rope with a countdown to Chapter 5's trailer, officially releasing on Wednesday, February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. People guessed that this trailer was going to reveal Lily's full design and give us a little bit more info about her. And so the trailer dropped, showing us her full design and gave us a bunch of new voice lines.
I can see you. You're running out of time.
From this trailer and these new voice lines, we learn that Lily's personality is almost childlike. We see her having tea parties, sitting toys at her table, talking to dolls. This was actually a theory ever since the Welcome Home trailer released, where she told Poppy that they were going to have so much fun, and she seemed excited to see Poppy almost like a child. But is Lily going to be our ally in the game or a villain? Well, in the trailer, some parts make it seem like that she's going to be our friend, like her having a tea party with us and possibly telling us a little bit about the prototype's plan.
He's going to kill them all.
But other parts make it seem like the exact opposite. She's chasing us here, she's exploding the platform in front of us, she's trapping us in her braid. So here's my guess. Lily is a villain, but won't start out as one, and is probably not the traditional villain you think of when talking about Poppy Playtime. I also think that she's a servant to the prototype. Now, right now, we don't know the prototype's plan, but we do know that whatever his plan is, he needs Poppy for it. In Chapter 4, he was telling Poppy it's time to come home, and in this new trailer, we hear him say similar things.
Come back. Don't be afraid.
I can fix you.
Let's be scared
Get
Poppy. You.
So the prototype is obviously searching for Poppy and needs her to succeed in his plan. So what if the prototype told Lily and all of the other experiments in the labs that if they ever find Poppy or encounter her, they need to bring her to him? He's probably in charge of the labs and looked at as a god in the factory. We already know this from Catnap in Chapter 3 where the prototype was his savior and god. So I don't think it's crazy to say that other experiments in the factory could have a similar mindset to Catnap whether they want to or not. Like Catnap actually loved the prototype, praised him, and made shrines for him. But for the other experiments in the factory and in the labs, they might hate the prototype, but know that if they don't do what he says, they'll most likely be killed. So there's a rule in the labs set by the prototype that if you see Poppy, capture her and bring her to the prototype. And remember how I said that the Welcome Home trailer takes place right after the ending of Chapter 4? Well, remember, the end of that trailer showed Poppy encountering Lily Lovebraids. And now in the most recent trailer, the only time we see Poppy is when she's locked up in a cell with Kissy. So what if Lily saw Poppy fall into her room, and either locked Poppy in the cage herself, or brought Poppy to the prototype where the prototype locked her up? And so I think that this scene is pretty early in the game where we finally reach Poppy wherever she is in this scene, but we find her locked up in the cell. And she tells us that to free her, we need to go to Lily's room and take one of her star remotes. This star character has been hyped up a lot in the Chapter 5 marketing, and now because of this new trailer we finally know what it's supposed to be. At multiple different gameplay scenes from the trailer, we see the star connected to our left grab pack hand, and the star has a face on it that seems to react to whatever happens to the player, and it looks like that this star's main function in the game will be warning the player of dangers that are close by. Like here when we see Huggy, the star has a scared face on it. When we turn our flashlight on, the star's face turns into a sun. When we're just doing a normal puzzle, the star looks happy, and here it looks scared when the prototype tries to attack us. And so we're probably going to need this star when we're trying to free Poppy from her cell. But why would Lily's room be where we get this star? Well, if we just take a look at Lily's design, she has stars all over her, 2 on her legs and 1 on her shirt. And so her room might be the only place in the factory to get one of these stars, and we're going to need one to warn us of dangers while saving Poppy. Something else we know is that Huggy's chase scene takes place first in Chapter 5. We know that from this leak, and just based on Chapter 4's ending, it's pretty obvious that Chapter 5 is going to start off with a Huggy chase. And we get a couple glimpses of this chase that's going to take place in Chapter 5 in this new trailer. And notice that during the chase, we don't have the star mechanic yet. During this scene with Huggy, we do have the star on our hand, but this is most likely much later in the game after we saved Poppy and collected the star from Lily's room. And so I think that Chapter 5 will start with the Huggy chase, eventually leading us to the labs. We manage to lose Huggy, but not kill him, meaning he'll eventually come back at a later point in the game. Then we find Poppy and Kissy locked up, and Poppy tells us that she fell into Lily's room, and now the prototype has her captured. And then she tells us to go to Lily's room, take one of her stars, and that is the only way we're going to be able to free Poppy and Kissy. As to how Kissy got locked up, I'm not too sure. Maybe she tried to save Poppy without using the star and got herself locked up. But we follow Poppy's orders and get to Lily's room. And at first, we go along with whatever Lily wants to do, like having a tea party with her dolls. And during this, we learn a little bit more about the prototype and get more info on Poppy Playtime lore. And then maybe she stands up for a second to get more tea, or she just turns around, and we grab one of her stars, which she might have a wall or a collection of. Maybe the stars were originally for the Playtime co-employees, but after the Hour of Joy, she just collects them. There could be a deeper reason that she collects these, but it also could just be because she thinks they look cool. But she finds out that we took one of her stars when she wasn't looking, and now we're trying to escape, which is how this entire chase scene with her starts that we saw in the trailer. And notice that during this chase, we have the star on our grab pack hand, so this is probably right after we stole it from her. And I think the chase will most likely end with this scene where we're in a very dark room, and this is where Lily's boss fight will take place, where we have to use the star's blacklight feature to see where she is in the dark room, all while she's taunting us.
I can see you.
And during the scene, the star on our hand has these purple sunglasses on, which makes me think that it has a blacklight feature where purple things show up in the dark, and that's how we'll see where Lily is during this boss fight. We don't have any solid evidence from this trailer to try and figure out how this boss fight ends or how we kill Lily, but we'll probably defeat her, which leads us to the next mission of the game, which is freeing Poppy and Kissy. But that's my guess on what the first 20 to 30 minutes of Chapter 5 will have in it. Let me know if you guys agree with this theory and think that this is actually a way that Chapter 5 could start off, or do you guys think that Lily Lovebraids is a much more important villain than I made her seem in this video, and we won't actually get to fight and kill her until the end of the game? My guess is that she's just going to be a side villain for Chapter 5, with the prototype being the main villain, but I'm also kind of 50-50 on that theory too, because like I said in the beginning, this trailer shows more of Lily than it does of the prototype, but the banner for Chapter 5 is still the prototype's hand holding Poppy's head, and one of the devs confirmed that this is the final banner for Chapter 5, and all of the other banners for Chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 are just the faces of the main villains of the games. So if Lily actually is the main villain of Chapter 5, shouldn't she be on the banner and not the prototype? But now, who is Lily Lovebraids? Like, who was she before she got turned into this toy? My guess is that it's this woman from the Chapter 5 ARG who we don't know the name of. We saw her in this video that looks to be an imitation of one of those kids shows that's hosted by an adult, and the adult acts super cheerful and happy, and so this character is probably super energetic and happy, which are some of Lily Lovebraids' most obvious traits. This character is also wearing a purple shirt and has a braid, but I want to hear your guys' theories in the comments about Lily Lovebraids and just about Chapter 5 in general. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're excited for Chapter 5. Goodbye.